What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Kate. Today we're watching I'm Begging You to Get Off Your Phone.
So I actually had zero intentions of coming here today and filming a video, but I'm being slow fired, that's what I'm going to call it, by my current employer right now because they made terrible business decisions starting in the COVID pandemic and just in general the last several years. And as punishment, I'm a disposable employee being treated like a piece of wet cardboard in the recycling bin.
Yeah, I've heard this a lot from people ever since the vid happened. This seems to be a very common trend.
Trash bin. Anyways, so I'm here at a park crocheting, and I want to talk about something that's been on my mind a lot the last month because I went to work on time just to realize that my shift actually started an hour later than it's been starting the last several months. Again, because they don't give a damn if I can't pay rent tomorrow. So anyways, let's talk about the thing I want to talk about, which is the fact that social media is making you stupid. Society today is making you stupid, and
This is going to be good. I'm excited to hear what she has to say.
enough people are angry about this. You have AI doing all of this work for you. It's literally taking over your jobs. It is reducing your critical thinking skills, and people are literally using it for therapy, which is one of the saddest things you could ever hear.
I kind of feel personally called out. I definitely did this because I can't afford therapy right now. Like, it's way too expensive. So yeah, I definitely, like a few months ago, I was definitely asking ChatGPT some pretty existential questions about my life. And I realized pretty quickly that that's pretty sick and I should stop doing that. So I did. But I see how people fall into it, honestly.
Because they don't have money to go to real therapy. Social media literally reduces the gray matter in your brain. And if you don't know what that means, the gray matter in your brain is essentially your critical thinking skills. That's part of it. And studies have shown that it's literally going down. It has been scientifically proven that you're becoming dumber the more that you doom scroll, the more that you are on social media. And the worst part of it is that we have glorified this concept called bed rotting because everyone is
Yeah, this is insane that people really do this. I personally, I can't stay in bed past 6 a.m. because I have this problem where I can't really relax and sleep. So I don't really relate. But I know people who do this, and they will literally take like entire days, multiple days, weeks, and just lay in bed and not move because they can't afford to do anything else. And they'll just sit there and doom scroll all day. And their mental health is not doing very well. The people that do this all day long, it's not healthy. This is not human behavior. Like, this is very abnormal for humans to be laying in one spot all day, like perfectly healthy, capable young people just sitting in bed rotting all day.
overworked and underpaid these days. And if you're not overworked and underpaid, there's a pretty good chance that you just don't like your job, but it's like the best thing that you can get right now. And people cope by doom scrolling because it doesn't really take that much energy. It's ready.
Yeah, the quality of life has gone down so much that they've given us all these drugs. You know, marijuana is totally legal in a lot of states now. You can just go buy that, numb out all day long, alcohol everywhere, vapes, and you have social media. You have plenty of distractions so that you can't notice how shitty life is becoming, progress.
Really available, and it has been designed to have the biggest dopamine hits consistently over and over and over again, so you never leave it.
Yeah, I've definitely said this before. Cell phones are harder than fentanyl, crack cocaine, all of it. I would argue that cell phones, they have the addictive component of it has to be stronger than drugs because people, I seriously believe there are people who literally don't go to work because they can't get off their phones all day long. And I'm sure it's like 30% of the population. It has to be.
It is a literal addiction, and it targets people. It targets vulnerable people, and we are vulnerable people. We're vulnerable people because we are overworked and because we are underpaid. Because I'm 25, and social media first started coming to light when I was in high school. Because the younger you are, and if people start giving you these addictive products, they're gonna have a customer for life, and you're gonna be a zombie doing everything that they want you to instead of doing things that are good for yourself.
She's so right. I grew up, I think I got my first phone when I was in 7th or 8th grade. And I remember when I got my first iPhone, because the first phone I had was just like your regular flip phone, whoop-de-doo. It was no big deal. And that was addictive. I was texting a lot. But once that smartphone got into my hand, I remember I remember sitting there for just hours. I was just so fascinated and hypnotized with this smartphone in my hands. I remember it vividly. And the way that I see the course of my life has gone ever since then, it's no wonder I had a breakdown in my early 20s, and a lot of other people are now too.
Vulnerable populations, the term that I learned having a degree in public health, and it really just radically changes your point of view about the entire world, because you realize the manipulative tactics of people in order to make money off of vulnerable populations. For example, I
Mhm.
remember reading a Substack article talking about how kids from richer families actually, even though they have a kids from richer families have more access to screens, so phones, laptops, tablets, etc. But they're actually on screens for fewer hours a day compared to kids with poor socioeconomic backgrounds who might only have one screen, which is their phone. Basically, what it's saying is that the poorer you are, the more likely you are to doom scroll, and the richer you are, the less likely you are to doom scroll. And doom scrolling, as I already said, makes you stupider. It reduces the gray matter in your brain, and it turns you into a consumer more than you already are, because consumerism is the perfection of slavery. I'm going to link a video above that.
Ooh, we should watch that one. We'll watch that next. It is. It absolutely is. I think I already actually did a video on this kind of similarly, but it is. They have you wanting all of these things. They put it in front of your face all day long. They dangle all these carrots in front of you and they say, hey, but you got to work more. You got to work more. And before you know it, you have to work 60 hours a week just to pay for all of the fancy shit that you have because you felt like you had to have it because the marketing is designed to hijack your psychology and make you think you need this thing in order to be accepted by other people or something. I don't even know what exactly it is, but clearly they're in your head somehow, and they're making you believe that you need these things when really we don't need 90% of this crap.
Everyone should really watch. So long as you are a consumer for the rest of your entire life, you will always be enslaved in a system that is destroying the planet and it's destroying your livelihood.
Mhm.
I've learned to crochet. I'm currently crocheting a tank top. This is what I do instead of doom scrolling, because this will be my little aside for this video. Crocheting is something that you can do with your hands. It takes up a little bit of your eye energy and it takes up a little bit of your brain energy. It's not too hard, although you can make it kind of.
Listen, I'm sorry. I tried to learn how to crochet. Maybe I'm dumb from doom scrolling too much and I've made myself like I've lowered my IQ or something, but I can't crochet. I've tried it. It's a good tip, lady, but I can't. I tried and I can't. I'm too dumb. Coloring is a nice, simple activity for us simple minded folks out here that can also help replace doom scrolling.
Hard. And it's honestly the perfect replacement for doom scrolling. It's portable. It doesn't have to be that big of a project. I literally made a GoPro case, which is what I'm filming on right now, with a little
Girl, start a TikTok shop. I'm not a TikTok shop, an Etsy shop. That's so cute. I want
like
to buy it.
handle. See, look at the smile on my face. I made something. I made something instead of doom scrolling my life away.
See, that is real dopamine right there. That's the perfect demonstration of it. When you create something like that, she's having a natural dopamine just from looking at the thing that she made. We don't get that anymore. You have like this very quick dopamine hit when you're doom scrolling all day long, but that like lasting, I made this, I did this. It's not there for a lot of us anymore because we're not doing anything. We're just sitting on our phones all day.
I don't even remember what I was just saying a second ago. Whatever. Just we have to find ways to get off of these addictive apps. And I don't like to quote the book, the book, The Power of Habit, just because I haven't read it in a very long time. And I just honestly hate self-help books in general. The self-help industry is, again, like a predatory system to make money off of people's insecurities. But one of the things that I remember from The Power of Habit was essentially saying if you want to get rid of one habit, you have to replace it with a different habit that kind of mimics the original habit to some degree, but is different and gives you the positive side effects instead of the negative side effects of.
I want to say the way I've learned is to change the patterns throughout the day. So I find I get trapped in, for example, doom scrolling. If I get trapped in waking up first thing in the morning and looking at my phone instead of going outside, going for a walk, taking care of my animals, taking care of myself, talking to God, giving myself breakfast, taking my vitamins, if I replace all that I have a different routine and something else to go do. And then I look at the next part of my day. So when else would I be prone to doom scrolling? Well, I guess after I get my work done in the morning and I'm kind of in the afternoon, I'll come home and kind of sit on my phone. So maybe instead I can change that pattern and maybe go to the gym instead at that time, or do some sort of physical activity or something that requires your hands, like she's saying, to kind of distract you so that you're doing something and you're kind of fully immersed in it. It's helpful.
The original habit. So for crocheting, it perfectly satisfies my need of stimulation, which is what most people are seeking, is stimulation when they're bored.
Mhm.
I get to make something. I get to move my hands. I get to touch something. I get to feel something. And the better part is I actually learn. And I'm not constantly putting blue light into my eyes.
The blue light literally causes cancer. There are so many studies. It is terrible for us. And then it really makes you wonder, the people who invented all this technology, did they know how bad it was? Because, oh, I'll have to do a whole video on it. I can't even get into it right now because I'm going to go off on a whole tangent on the super charismatic nucleus in your eye and how you perceive light and how it's extremely important for all these processes in your body. But yeah, the blue light thing, it's terrible for you. You need to get away from it as much as possible, truly.
Giving myself a headache. I literally got a concussion earlier this year from biking and getting hit by a car. So honestly, I could do less
Jeez.
till the blue light.
Well, I'm glad you're okay there. Jeez. You got hit by a car. I want a video on that. What happened?
Or I remember what it was now. I was talking about how consumerism is the perfection of slavery. People get mad when I talk about the concept of wage slavery because much more vile forms of slavery exist in the world, and I have never denied that reality. But wage slavery is still a form of slavery, and one of the worst parts about it is that it's a slavery that people want to opt into. It's something that we've been told to strive for. It's something that has become the norm, and people literally are seeking out ways to be a wage slave. We get 2 weeks of vacation a year in the United States on average, and that's only if you have a job that has benefits. I don't have jobs that have those kinds of benefits right now, so all of my vacation time comes out of my own pocket and choosing not to work. Um, Consumerism is the perfection of slavery because so long as you're always insecure about your material possessions, you will always be buying stuff. Always. And then you will always have to work to continue to buy things.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. You always have to work to buy things. And most of the things that you're buying, you don't need. There is that.
And I just want to, I don't know if anybody's noticed this, for me, especially in the last couple of years, I used to get like a little dopamine hit from buying things. And I guess I still kind of do, like, for a second when you hit that purchase, but then I am consumed with this existential dread that I just spent 50% more money on something I could have gotten for 50% cheaper a few years ago. And it's 80% cheaper and it's going to break and it's flimsy and it's just a very temporary, quick, pointless bit of dopamine to purchase things anymore, I feel like. And I actually don't even feel good about it. It's mostly just doom that I get. I mostly just get this feeling of like, I just got scammed. They just got me. They hit me with an advertisement. I thought that I needed it in the moment I bought it, and now I feel really guilty about it and I want to send it back. I'm mad. It doesn't even feel good anymore. Leave a comment down below. Do you experience the same thing? Am I crazy? I don't know.
Labubu trend right now. Is that what it's called?
It's stupid, okay? It's stupid. Go do something else with your time. Try to crochet a Labubu. You don't need to buy one. It's dumb.
Like the ugly dolls. Isn't that like their fifth richest person in China started that like new trend, and now he's going to be even richer or something like that? Literally, why are people hopping on this trend? Why? It is not cute. It is so stupid. All of that is going to end up in some place in Africa or Asia in these gigantic landfills, polluting the planet, polluting the earth, and polluting the direct areas that those people live within. We don't need stuff. And
she's so right. She is spot on with this video. I feel like we are trending towards living in a world that literally resembles that movie WALL-E with the robot. And there was just trash everywhere and everybody was fat and lazy and they couldn't get up out of their chairs anymore. So they're driving around in chairs. I really feel like we're headed there and it's scary.
Everything is basically made from slaves. So you are a wage slave that has been trained to be a consumer and never question the status quo. Then everything that you buy as a wage slave was made by actual slaves who have terrible qualities of life. So
Yeah.
even though
Not to mention that a lot of those products that you're buying are also poisoned and they're not good for you. Like the stuff you buy from Shein or whatever that website is, Temu, they spray it down. There's literally videos of them spraying it down with all kinds of harsh chemicals before they even ever ship it to you, and then you go put that on your body. You think that's good for you? No. Good. I guess you saved $50, sure, but you're going to have to spend it on your cancer care in 10, 15, 20 years. It's all, that's what I'm saying, everything seems to just really be scammy these days. I totally get it.
I am making my own clothing, which I honestly don't really need because I do have a lot of clothing. Um, this is better because one, I'm learning the art of literally anything. I'm learning a craft, I'm learning a hobby, I'm training my brain, I'm using numbers to create patterns, I'm expressing myself, I'm learning what materials feel like. I'm actually doing something with my brain, which is more than most people can say about themselves right now.
Yeah.
And on one hand, I don't blame people for being addicted to social media. It has literally been designed to be addictive. You are a victim of this addictive drug, but it is your responsibility to take life in your own hands and do something instead of nothing. That is
She's right. I love this video. This girl, you're great. You're spot on. I love the personal responsibility aspect because truly, I tell myself this all the time whenever I start to get into this victim mindset and I start to feel like, well, I'm just a victim, I'm just a victim. I didn't want this for my life. And these people, they put all this stuff in front of me and now here we are. Whoopsies. I almost lost my camera for a second. Um, but I totally lost where I was going with that. Never mind. I forgot. Sorry.
is the cold hard truth of being alive on this planet. It is not your fault that
Oh,
people
yeah. Where I was going. It's very good to take personal responsibility and just like evaluate and think to yourself, like, this is really affecting my life. And although it feels like I need saving and I need somebody to come and take this phone from me and I need somebody to slap the processed food out of my mouth and I need somebody to help me and help me, there's nobody coming to save you. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to save you except you. The only person who can save you at this point and save you from this is you. Like I hate that that's how it is, but it is that way. And it really is. And listen, I struggle with it too. I'm not by any means sitting up here on a high horse. I'm definitely addicted to social media. I really struggle with being present in this world today. And I know a lot of people do too, but I just get caught in these tangent kind of with my mind and my thinking, and I just go off in circles and I start thinking about all this horrible stuff going on around me and I feel so helpless. And then maybe that's what it is. Maybe I feel really helpless and then I feel like I can't help myself and so I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out.
are hurting you, but it is your responsibility to try and relieve yourself of that pain.
Yeah,
And I've been
it
trying
is.
for a very long time to get off of these apps because I was feeling more and more like a zombie. It was reducing my self-esteem. I was constantly comparing myself to other people, and if one of my friends went to a social event that I wasn't invited to, I automatically thought that nobody liked me. And then I would see some other outdoor influencer getting better deals than I would be. I would see somebody going on this like better trip than I was going on. I just hated myself, and I'd be mindlessly scrolling, and the next thing you know, an hour and a half went by, and you could have gone to the gym in that entire time. You could.
Yep. Yeah. I also noticed for me, I don't know why, but my algorithm it makes me pretty angry. It just kind of shows me a lot of really disturbing and upsetting stuff, and I kind of get like caught where I can't pull away from it. And then I'm just in this negative mindset all the time, and I don't know, it it's extremely hard to stop though. I don't know why it's so hard to just put it down and be present. It's that feeling that you get hit with when you put it down, that like dread is just overwhelming. I don't even know how to describe it as anything else other than extremely overwhelming.
Have cleaned the house. You could have hung out with a friend. You could have read a book. Any of that kind of stuff. I've been trying to get off these apps, and I've had a myriad of ways of reducing my screen time. I use my phone to read books on like the Kindle app. I was playing Sudoku. I started doing the New York Times puzzles, all those games. Those things helped me reduce my screen time, but I was still on my phone. I didn't like the blue light. And I still could easily go hop over to Instagram and doom scroll if I wanted to. Crochet was the only thing that perfectly satisfied my need to get off of these godforsaken apps, which literally everybody should get off of. It's literally making you dumber. Like, I don't know how many times I have to tell you that.
And it's gotten a lot worse. It used to be that you would like scroll on social media and you would just see pictures of people you knew. Now, every other thing you're looking at is an advertisement. Everything is advertising to you. And it actually, that's probably what makes me so mad is I'm tired of people trying to get me to give them money when I don't have any money. Like, why are you trying to take money from poor people? We don't have any money to spend. Like, we are not your target audience. Like,
scream it on the top of your rooftops, tell all your friends and your family, remind them that they're becoming dumber from these apps because you do not benefit from becoming stupid. You become easier to
also, I'm not saying that I'm like a poor person. Obviously, I have a roof over my head. I could be doing a heck of a lot worse, but I'm not doing as well as I would want to. That's for sure, too. And I think a lot of us feel that way.
manipulate the stupider that you become. I am begging people to find ways to break this addiction and alert everyone of how bad it is.
I have this app. It's called Opal, OPAL. And I still find ways around it, but it definitely helps. I have like a bunch of blocks set up, so it'll only let me scroll for a certain amount of time or a certain, allotted time period throughout the day. And if I go over that, it just blocks it for me. It does cost money, which really makes me upset, but it is helpful. There are apps like that that are out there that can help you. Unfortunately, we have to also pay for that because of course you do. Why would you expect to not?
There was a Netflix documentary that came out talking about how bad it was. So people are trying. There are new YouTube videos coming up talking about how it's hotter if you logged out, talking about how critical thinking is no longer cool. And I'm glad there's a trend of people trying to alarm the general public that the goal of essentially the people in power is to make us dumb so we can be manipulated.
Yeah. They want you to be dumb. They want you to be sick. They want you to be under the influence of things. They want you to be out of your mind as much as possible, but not enough that you can't work anymore and make the money, but just enough that you don't pick up on what's going on around you. Think about that. That's pure evil. That is like a diabolical Dr. Evil level evil plan that is playing out right before your eyes, people.
Continually buy things that we don't need in order to get those dopamine rushes and feel like we're living a good quality of life. Think harder, live better, live more intentionally. You don't need that new pair of pants. You don't. And
you don't need to spend $50 on a t-shirt, okay? You don't need to do that. It's not necessary. I know Target, they've gotten pretty out of control with the prices. Everywhere seems to have done that. But you don't need to spend money on new clothes every single season and nice jewelry. And I know we want those things. I get it. But you don't need it. And that's the whole point is they've convinced us that we need all of these things to be happy. And the whole point is we got to find happiness outside of all of this.
Need that new pair of pants if your old pair broke. Like, you can make it yourself, and then you'll realize how all of the clothing you buy is artificially cheap because we employ wage slaves in a much worse fashion in places like Guatemala. Like,
Look, I've been to Guatemala and it's not pretty. Okay. The people there are really, really, really struggling. And a lot of people in the United States have never left the United States. They've never seen a country like that before. But if you have the means to, I suggest that you do that and you try to, at the very least, educate yourself a little bit because we live in a bubble here in the United States. That's not like the way we consume here is we're the only country that does that. Nobody else does that the way that we do here. I mean, it's like out of control in this country.
Yarn that I'm using was probably made from slaves.
And yeah, most of it is made by slaves. And then like people over here, nobody talks about it. I don't know why.
But at least it's not a slave making this shirt for me. At least I'm making it, and it's going to be specific.
It feels nearly impossible to escape modern day slavery in practically anything we purchase these days. The global and modern economic systems prey upon a constant exploitation of labor in order to preserve infinite monetary growth. Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Take a screenshot. Make that your background. That's something like that is spot on again.
Tailored to my body. And I get to use all this time critically thinking. I feel more like a human. I literally feel the neuroplasticity happening in my brain like the longer I've been crocheting, because I've had Instagram deleted off my phone for about 5 days a week for the last couple of months. I literally feel like I'm less of a zombie. I feel like I'm more of a human. I feel like myself again. I feel like Claire again. I feel smarter. I feel more confident. I don't think I realized how little of a person I felt for all those months that I was on those apps. The goal of the ultra rich is essentially to create a hierarchy of slavery in the world. I, as a white person in the United States of America, sits a bit higher on that hierarchy of slavery. Then you have the children in cobalt mines who are way lower, and the people in occupied territories of this world. I'll name it here. I don't know if YouTube is a censor or not. I really don't know. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is there's a hierarchy of slavery. You have the consumers who have to work meaningless jobs all the time, who aren't happy with their lives, but at least they can buy something to
That's us here in the United States. You can buy something to make yourself feel better about it for a little bit.
feel a little bit better and go to a concert. And you have the other people where their lives are even more disposable because we don't have real health care in the United States, and people are going to off themselves all the time because they're so miserable. And then you have people in other countries where they're dying because of malnutrition, they're dying because of forced starvation, which is what we're seeing right now in said place from earlier.
And I want to also just say people in the United States here are also starving, but they're starving from nutrient deficiency. So we here in the United States, we have this illusion that we're full, right? That your belly's full and you're eating all this good food, but most of it is processed and devoid of nutrients and poisoning your body, so it's having the opposite effect on you. Yeah, you're not hungry and you're not worried, you're not feeling hunger pains, but you're feeling abdominal pain, you're having IBS symptoms, you're having Crohn's disease, you're sick, you have food allergies, you can't get out of bed because you have body aches from the food that you're eating, but you don't know that and you're not putting it together. That's all I'm saying. That's another thing.
You have the slaves of India and in China who are making your clothing, who are making that stupid plastic product that you don't need. People need to be more creative in how beautiful of a world we could live in. People are too complacent to just think the status quo is the greatest it could ever be. If cancer is the uncontrolled growth of something in a contained system, capitalism is the biggest cancer of this world, and it's going to kill everyone on it. So a few people can get really rich for this one.
I want to correct her though on that. I would argue that it's actually corporate capitalism that's the problem here. Because in regular capitalism, the people can prosper and they're allowed to prosper. But what we are living under right now is not regular capitalism. This is corporate capitalism. Corporations run everything in this country. That's what's going on here. I just want to make that a little tidbit there because I hear people say this all the time. Oh, it's capitalism, capitalism. No, let's just get it right here. Corporate capitalism. It's the corporations that are taking over everything. That's what's going on here. It's not the regular people in their little small businesses, okay?
Lifetime on Earth. So, what are some ways that you can get off of these apps? Because it's really easy for me to just tell people to get off of these apps. It's one thing to actually get off of them, again, because they are made to be addictive. First thing is crocheting and knitting. Like I mentioned earlier, you use your brains, you use your hands, it's portable, and you get to make something. You get the dopamine hit of completing a project. You can do it both socially and alone. I've literally been at bars drunk crocheting when I was too tired to talk to people instead of scrolling on my phone. I can also be home alone or watching reality TV doing this. Instead of that, you could do Zen doodling. You could get a little sketchbook and be a Zen doodler. You could just be one of those people who journals all the time. I feel like there's a lot of people on YouTube who romanticize this novelty of just journaling for like an hour every day. That could be you. You could practice meditation. You could get a Sudoku book and just carry that book with you all the time. You could just, I don't know, like if you have a friend that works from home, like call them. There are so many ways to try and fight doom scrolling.
And I want to also say that when you go to try to do these things and you try to first get away from your phone, you're going to feel a lot of negative emotions or you're not going to feel anything at all. because your dopamine receptors are fried and your neurons like don't know what to do at first. So you're going to feel nothing at first probably, and it might not feel better at first, but I really encourage everyone, myself included, to stick with things and keep going, and eventually it will pay off and it will feel good and it will feel like it's supposed to feel. But you need to give your brain, like if you've been frying your dopamine receptors for 16 hours a day, it's going to take a little bit before you're able to feel joy and presence in everything else. So I just want to say that to encourage you. I know it hurts. Like it physically feels like you're withdrawing from something, and it feels like you have no joy in life anymore away from the phone, but that's not even real joy. So just give your brain some time to heal, recover, and make some new neurological pathways so that you can feel that joy from things again. Just give it some time. Very important. Patience is key.
And you're gonna have to fight it and replace doom scrolling with something else.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna feel more like a human again. You're gonna experience a neuroplasticity of using your brain, being able to critically think, getting off of all of these AI ads and all of this crap that don't make you think anymore. Humanity is so beautiful,
It
and
is.
it just makes me mad to see that a lot of humans are trying to destroy it. They're literally trying to destroy it in the name of profit.
Yeah, and not enough people are mad. I know I have kind of a passionate tone to my voice in these videos, and it's because I'm passionate about this and I get upset about it because nobody else around me seems to be upset. They don't see that the house is on fire. They don't see where this is going, that this is not going well for so many people, because we're all kind of caught up in our own little worlds, and humanity is beautiful. I want to emphasize that too. Like, we're a beautiful species, and there's a reason somebody's trying to take us down, because we're very strong and we are very capable and we can create beautiful things. And somebody doesn't want us to be able to do that because it inhibits their ability to make money. And in my opinion, we need to like get off these phones. Number one, that's like step number one, and then from there we gotta sort some things out here. Like there's some people that need to be dealt with for sure.
And we need to fight back in any way that we can.
Mhm.
Any single way.
This is how I'm fighting back with this YouTube channel. I know that I have one thing, and that is a very obnoxious and loud voice that I can use and that I will force you to hear when things are going bad. And that's the one thing I have. That's what I can offer. So that's what I'm doing here. It is making me feel um, like I'm actually doing something other than sitting on my phone for once in my life. This making these videos has been really helpful and cathartic to me. And I want to encourage anybody else out there that if you're thinking of starting a YouTube channel, don't wait 5 years like I did. I've been wanting to do this for literally years, and I was always too scared about what people would think about me. And I just was always too scared. Stop being scared. Don't be afraid. Fear is the enemy. You can do anything that you're capable of. I'm sorry, you can do anything in this world that you want to do. You are capable of anything, anything at all. And the phone is taking you away from that. So it's important we all try to really get away from it.
I'm here at a park right now in Baltimore because I went to my job that I'm a wage slave at, where they're slowly firing me. My theory is that they don't want to pay me my severance, so they're just going to continue reducing my hours because I quite literally am not going to be able to live off of my hours anymore until I find a new job and quit. That way, they don't pay me my severance. That's my theory as to what they're doing right now. I'm crocheting in a park because I'm angry at the world. My student loans are going to start accruing interest in 1 week.
Oh yeah, mine too. I forgot about that. Thanks for the reminder. I'm so happy about that. That's exciting. Yay, another bill.
Losing my job, and my taxes are being used to create concentration camps in Florida. The least I can do
Worse than that. Your taxes are being used to fund the prosperity of people who do not deserve it, who have way too much prosperity and success as it is. Like, your tax dollars are being stolen from you and given to other people so that you can suffer and struggle in life, but they can be very perfectly content and happy, which is even more aggravating in my opinion.
Critical thinker. The least that I can do is urge other people to be critical thinkers. The least that I can do is believe that there's some hope in the world, that there's a better place, that we can make this a better place.
We do. I agree with her on that. We absolutely can.
So please stop supporting slavery. Please. please do something instead of nothing, because it's not your fault, but it is your responsibility to at least try.
The great video, phenomenal video. I'm going to link her stuff below. If you liked it, give this a thumbs up, subscribe, hit your notification bell. I'm literally talking to all my friends out there, my 5 friends at home. Hey guys, I hope you like this video. I'll see you in the next one. Love you guys. Bye.